You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. I'm gonna move out into the middle of fucking nowhere so there's no traffic. Hey Cappy, love the channel. I've read Bachelor Pad Economics and enjoyed the decline. My history. I live in Australia. I am 37 years old. Useless degree in marketing, but it's paid for. I live debt-free. $12,000 in the bank. On the way to $20,000 by the end of the year. I sell guitars and am a musician for a living and make around $45,000 a year before tax. You are actually a musician. You're not a teacher who teaches music who has no talent, because that's why you teach music. I've learned this through the great Matt Baldoni. You actually are paid for your music. That's awesome. Not your instruction. It really pisses off music teachers that they're not musicians. And you, sir, are a musician. I'm a minimalist, save over 50% of my income, and lean to the right wing in terms of politics. Don't tell anybody your politics. I have had 2 long-term relationships in my 20s, one for 3 years, the other for 6 years. Dated a lot in my 30s, friends with benefit and one-night stands mainly, but am now bored of this. I don't have a hard time attracting women, but I do have a harder time hanging onto them or finding one I want to hang on to. My current challenge is making a jump to a higher paying job, thinking of using sales skills for higher end products, i.e. luxury cars to rich folks or real estate. Do you speak Mandarin? Only those in Australia will get that fucking joke. That's because I pay attention to international economics. As I don't have a STEM major and am not interested in studying more, my IQ is 120, 127. I did 2 different... Well, you might... I don't know, you got the raw talent for it. You may just find it interesting, too. I know a lot of people with high IQs, they actually find computer programming interesting. Which is good, because you're going to make some money. Just a thought. Go into a little foray. My life currently consists of working out 3 to 5 times a week, reading books, cooking, and working. I've seen the world and have been to 70 different cities and lived in 3 different parts of the world. Toronto, Brisbane, and Melbourne. Which is not pronounced Melbourne, it's pronounced Melbourne, once again, because I'm internationally cultured. My parents split when I was 19 and have rarely talked since. I was on antidepressants for a while when I was out of work and heavily in student loan debt, but have dug my way out of that. Now I am drug-free. I also rarely drink alcohol anymore. I follow Dave Ramsey, yourself, and Stefan Molyneux. I'm actually honored to be in the rank of those fellow people. My question now is, since I've grown tired of Tinder and bars, where should I look for quality women, i.e. wife and good potential mother material, as I want to have kids soon, as long as I can find the right woman? Obviously, a lot of my friends are now married with kids. And also any career advice you have. Video response, please, and please quote in dollars. Let me know if I could clarify anything. Thanks, mate. Matt. All right, so... career advice, I don't think, you don't need career advice, dude. You have a positive net worth. How old are you? You're 37, you got positive net worth, you make your money, you're having fun. There's really nothing. Well, the only thing I could say is do your if you want to make a foray into sales or something else, see if you can't do it part-time just to see if you like it. There's no reason to quit your job selling guitars and being a musician. That just sounds like you got the perfect setup there. Of course, you're not making a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money, but I get to do this shit and you get to do that shit, you know? And that says that accounts for a lot. So I would not really necessarily change your career and maybe do some part-time stuff. Or like I said, experiment with programming or computer something. But I don't know. Just because novelty will go away, for everything becomes unnovel or disnovel or no longer novel. Everything. Hottest redheaded chick with the biggest titties and the greatest blowjobs. You will get tired of that. If that's all you fucking got, it doesn't matter. The world's greatest ice cream, you will get sick of it. The greatest gun ever, you will get sick and tired of firing it. It does not matter. So, but the trick is to appreciate the fact, hey, I got a big titted redhead and it gets great head. I got a great gun, and you got a great job, all right? So never discount that. Always try to appreciate that. So, yeah, I don't have really any advice for your career because you're doing all right in that. With women, how do you find them at age 37? You are running into the problem. Look at the video. And no assholes, I'm not going to provide the link below. Just look it up. The video, the Clary relationship test, case number 4. Or 0004. The guy's almost an identical situation. He's 37 to her 36. And he's out there throwing his seed around, having a grand old time. And now he's got a really quality girl, and he want to know, should I settle down? I can get more. Here's the problem. You are facing, or you are hitting the maturity wall that all men will hit. Not that you become immature or it has anything to do with you, is that men, as they get older, they mature more. And that Overton window, or the Bell distribution curve of what you will accept in terms of acceptable adult behavior, mature versus immature behavior, goes more towards the mature side of things. And that means there's fewer and fewer girls in their 20s who are hot and that can have children safely that you can even tolerate, because they're just not mature. They're dumb, they're idiots, and when you're a 25-year-old horny idiot, you're not even aware of it yourself because you yourself are an immature idiot. But as you get older, it's like you're still attracted to the 25-year-old booty. But man, when they open their mouth, it gets sharper and more painful and less tolerable, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go date that 32, 33-year-old, and then you run into the problem that all 30-something men and 40-something men and 50 men above 30 run into. They got some other bastard's kid. Thus the paradox, thus the maturity wall, and every man will hit it. So, how do you find a quality girl? I wish I had the answer to that, but unfortunately, there are sometimes no solutions to problems we have. And that is the first solution I'm going to give you, is to accept the good statistical chance that there is no solution to this problem. All right? Everybody keeps thinking, like, this is how... I have nothing against the pickup artist community, but this is an example. I've seen some people in the pickup. I'm like, who the fuck are you? You're so faking it. Like, this is bullshit. But the pickup artist community, not all of them. There are some legitimate people out there, some legitimate stuff. But a lot of them sell like they typically get nerds. They typically get these IT engineers, STEM type nerds who think everything is a formula, including women. And then, like, if there's a number in your list, like, here are the 10 things to get your dick wet, that's a lie, okay? So they sell this formulaic solution, like this finite solution, this finite product. Like, if you do A, B, C, and D, girl is hopping on your dick. That's not the case. There is sometimes no solution, especially the older you get, and especially given how Western women have just gone to shit in terms of quality and caliber. Not to mention, they're not trained to be wife or mother material anymore. They are trained to pursue their careers, their education. They are not trained to be selfless or altruistic, which are absolute necessities to become a good wife and a mother. You have to put other people first. And then everyone thinks, well, that's just the misogynist. No, a good father and a husband will also put the wife and children first. Right? But for your particular situation, you're looking for women, and it's true. You just have to admit, you're getting to that age where you can't tolerate women of birthing age, healthily birthing age, because they're too immature. Not to mention, you got the whole feminist, leftist, government, media, academia complex just ruining women for men. So that's the first thing you have to admit, is that there is a good and increasing chance you may not find a quality woman to have and bear children with. All right? So that's the first step. The next step is like, okay, given this desert, where do we find a glass of water? And again, I wish I had the answer there. What has worked for me is for you to go forth and be the best man you can be in your own particular regards. In other words, don't even bother looking for women. This doesn't mean you're blind to it. It doesn't mean you swear off women, but you go forth and you do your shit. Music is a perfect example. Go and play music. And all of a sudden, there's a girl at the jazz club you're playing at, and you see her, and you talk to her. You find out she is a jazz instructor, or she plays classical music at the local opera house. Well, there you go. It's because you pursued your passion of music, you're going to find someone who's much more compatible with you than if you had gone on Plenty of Fish or the Tinder or whatever else like that. That's not to say you don't do Tinder or Plenty of Fish, but it's just you're going in circles and environments that are going to produce and be populated by women that are going to be naturally more statistically likely to be a wife candidate and a mother candidate than not. 2, you're going to have to actually make this kind of a part-time job. It's just a pain in the ass. Like I said, I've gone out, you know, the girlfriend will leave, I'll have the weekend to myself, like, yeah, I'll go dancing. And I'm like, holy shit, you would think swing dancing, and I've gone out, I'm like, wow, this is Shitsville. The girls aren't dressed up, the girls all have airy armpits over to the swing sing, the salsa club is a meat market. It's crap, but that just shows you got to start doing more. So, okay, I know you don't like Tinder, I know you don't like it, but an hour on Tinder is better than 4 hours at a nightclub. It's a sales game, it's a sales number game. Then the third thing is you're going to change different environments. I know I said go do your own shit and hopefully, hey, you're going, you like hiking, she likes hiking. Oh my God, we're in Australia. I have a pet scorpion, you have a pet scorpion. Oh my God, you've been bitten by a poisonous snake. I've been bitten by a poisonous snakes anonymous. Oh my God, you know, people like going to town, whatever. But then there's like getting out of your circle and your environment. This falls more under the job part of it. So you go and there's a hobby you have an interest in. Go pursue it. Are you religious? No. Well, too bad, because religious chicks, not always, don't misread me, tend to, you're going to find a higher percentage, like the percentage of marriageable women as a percentage of the population, general population is like this. You go to like a church or something like that, it goes up by about like that. Not a big increase, but an increase nonetheless. They tend to be, say that with a lot of caveats, they tend to be more traditional, a little more receptive towards marriage, but then you got to worry about that huge thing where they're using Jesus and God to abuse other people. They don't actually believe in the religion. They use it as a substitute for value, if you know the difference. And then the fourth thing I would look at, dude, I would start looking at Asia. Not because I'm all about yellow fever or going and get the mail order brides, but there's a lot of Chinese that would like to buy property down in Australia, if you're familiar with that. And they're investing. In other words, there's already an economic, socio-political relationship established between Australia and Asia, not to mention other Asian countries, like you guys all go up to Bali. So it's not completely foreign. And therefore, you're not going to have a lot. You still have some, but you're not going to have that rank mail order bride scam trying to come. I'm sure you still do, but I would start looking at Asian women because they're a bit more traditional. And there's drawbacks too. Again, it's like church. Okay, you know, regular population church, Asian women. Right? Don't expect it to be a panacea. But they tend to be more traditional. They tend to be more supporting. But then you gotta, like, for example, this is where knowing culture comes in handy. Japan, a lot of the women expect the husband to hand over the check. You don't want that shit. It's just a pain in the ass. In other words, it's not like, here's your solution. Oh, you're looking to catch a trout? Well, there's a great trout pond over there. It's called Trout Pond, and everyone's pulling out trout this big. It's a magical trout pond. That doesn't exist for that's why it's so hard and rare to find a wife. But I'll tell you this, you got to go out and find it. I wish I had, go to church. You go to this town in Indonesia. Yeah, they're just lined up and they're all quality. No, it's not like going shopping for a car. It is becoming increasingly harder and rarer to find a quality girl. But if you want it, you're going to have to go forth and find it. And so that means doing a lot of what you like to do in the hopes that going forth your own way will put you in an environment where women are already pre-screened to like what you like, and therefore there's a higher chance. Trying different environments, trying different hobbies, going to religious institutions, and then looking overseas in cultures that happen to have more traditional cultures and norms. But then again, there's always a risk involved in that, because they might green card you, or whatever the equivalent for Australian green card is. So I wish I had an answer, dude. I really do wish, but I'd be lying to say that I did. Because here's the thing, it's very hard. Okay. you're asking to find diamonds. Where do I find diamonds? Well, fuck. I think in South Africa somewhere, in Arkansas, they have a couple diamond mines, but man, they're pretty hard to find. I'd be lying otherwise. Oh yeah, there's a shit ton of them over in Bangladesh. No, this is why it's so hard to find a quality wife, because they're hard to find. And if there was a simpler, easier way for men to find them, they would go forth and find them. But especially now, it's really sad. It's really sad because a good woman, a good person in general, husbands as well, and I understand the plight ladies face finding a quality man for different reasons. It's really sad because if a good quality person, husband or wife, wasn't already hard enough to find out, the left in the Western world is doing everything they can to crush and destroy these diamonds and melt them down. Which, don't you fucking nerds do. You can't melt down a diamond. Shut up. Because they're so rare, and like, you imagine all these millions of girls that came out of, decent households, and they go to college and they're just brainwashed to be man-hating, misandrist, careerist. They've been turned into robots. They have no heart. They don't have the capacity for love. And then they're like 40, and then they want to find a husband. It's like, it's too late because you're not going to have kids safely anyway. It's really sad. It's really sad. But that's the real world. That's how it is. And here at Asshole Consulting, we don't deal in lies. We deal in the real world. Thus, why the number one thing I said is accept the good and increasing chance that there might not be one out there for you. It's sad, but that is a harsh reality a lot of men get to face. So, wish I had better news. I really wish I did. But anyway, if you got questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. The old Captain will take care of you for a fee, for a price. You can read my books. You can find them on Amazon.com. I got my blog, CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com. And then the podcast, the Clarity Podcast, which you can find on SoundCloud.com. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.